Bryce Laspisa went missing on August 30, 2013. So it's been 7 years na nawawala si Bryce Laspisa. His Toyota Highlander was found crashed in Castaic, California, with all his personal belongings inside his car. And itong Toyota Highlander na to ay nakaregister sa kanyang mga magulang. Sino ba si Bryce Laspisa? So Bryce Laspisa was born on April 30th, 1994 to his parents, Mike and Karen Laspisa. Bryce was an only child. He was raised in Chicago suburbs of Illinois. He graduated in Naperville Central High School in 2012. When his parents retired, the whole family moved to Laguna Niguel in California. Bryce attended Sierra College in Northern California to earn credits in hopes of transferring to a 4-year university. At the time of his disappearance, Bryce was beginning his sophomore year and had a girlfriend named Kim. So all is going well sa buhay ni Bryce, kumbaga. So in 2013, Bryce returns to school after niyang mag-spend ng entire summer with his parents. And within 2 weeks after makabalik ni Bryce sa kanyang school or kung saan siya nagstay, kung saan siya nag-aaral, he disappears without a trace. According sa roommate at sa girlfriend ni Bryce, yung behavior daw ni Bryce significantly changed and pareho silang naging worried. So yung roommate ni Bryce at yung girlfriend niya, of course, kilala nila si Bryce personally and closely, so alam nila kung something was wrong with him. Allegedly daw, Bryce was mixing alcohol and an ADHD medicine that was not prescribed to him dahil wala namang ADHD si Bryce. After niyang ibigay yung kanyang mga gamit sa kanyang roommate, for example, mga importanteng gamit, mga personal things na binili niya or favorite niya, kumbaga, ay binigay niya dun sa kanyang roommate. Kaya nagtaka yung roommate niya kasi alam niyang personal belongings ni Bryce yun. Kumbaga, may value yung mga bagay na to na ibinigay niya sa kanyang kaibigan. So, nagtaka etong roommate niya. And then, after nun, nakipag-break si Bryce sa kanyang girlfriend, serious girlfriend na si Kim. And hindi maintindihan ni Kim kung bakit, because masaya naman sila, wala silang problema, wala silang pinag-awayan. Pero bigla na lang nakipag-break sa kanya si Bryce without any reason. After nun, Bryce was supposed to go home. With home, I mean doon sa kanyang apartment na tinutuluyan niya with his roommate. Pero imbes na umuwi sa kanyang apartment, Bryce drove to where his parents live. And according sa article, medyo malayo yung bahay ng kanyang parents. It's about an 8-hour drive. And bibihira lang yung mga taong nagda-drive ng ganun kahaba because most of the time, people fly to where his parents live. Kasi nga sobrang haba kung ida-drive nila yung 8 hours. Kung baga mas madali kung mag-aeroplano sila papunta doon sa Laguna Niguel kesa mag-drive. So after makapag-break ni Bryce kay Kim, napansin nga ni Kim na something was wrong with Bryce's attitude. Parang Bryce is not himself. And ang ginawa ni Kim, kinuha niya yung car keys ni Bryce para hindi siya makaalis. Because nga, he was acting weird. So, after nun, tinawagan ni Kim yung mother ni Bryce na si Karen and sinabi nga niya na something is wrong with Bryce. He is not himself. He was acting weird. So, kinausap ni Karen sa phone yung kanyang anak na si Bryce. And ang sabi ni Karen, okay naman daw si Bryce. Wala daw siyang napansin na weird or something is wrong. So, after noon, sinabi ni Karen kay Kim na, that's okay, Kim. Ibigay mo na yung car keys ni Bryce para makauwi na siya sa kanyang apartment. So, all along, akala ni Kim at akala din ng parents ni Bryce na uuwi na siya dun sa kanyang apartment. However, Bryce drove to where his parents live. Or is he? Because yung mga magulang ni Bryce lives 8 hours away kung saan siya nagstay para mag-aral. Mostly, yung mga tao ay mag-eeroplano because masyadong mahaba yung 8 hours para i-drive. Although kaya naman, pero kung pwede ka naman mag-eroplano and hindi ka mahihirapan ng papagod, bakit hindi, di ba? And I believe may pambayad naman yung family ni Bryce for him to, just fly in. Nung kausap ni Karen si Bryce sa phone, sinabi ni Karen na kapag nakauwi ka na sa apartment mo, tawagan mo ako. So, after nung phone call na yon, nag-drive na si Bryce, supposedly to go home to his apartment. At around 1 a.m., tinawagan ni Bryce si Karen. This is according to Karen, nung in-interview na siya ng mga authorities. Tinawagan daw siya ni Bryce at 1 a.m. pero hindi niya nasagot because she's already sleeping. And inisip niya, baka ayun na yung tawag ni Bryce para sabihin sa kanya na he arrived safely doon sa kanyang apartment. But, nung umaga na, nakatanggap ng tawag yung parents ni Bryce from their insurance company. Because nga yung Toyota Highlander ay nakapangalan sa mga magulang ni Bryce. According sa insurance company, sinabi nila na si Bryce daw is driving and requested a roadside assistance. So, chinek nung parents ni Bryce yung kanilang credit card records and nakita nga nila na their card was used in a small town 3 hours away from them called Buttonwillow. So, nagulat sila kasi akala nga ng parents ni Bryce uuwi si Bryce sa kanyang apartment. Walang sinabi si Bryce na magdadrive siya pauwi kung saan nakatira yung kanyang parents. So, nagtaka yung parents niya kung bakit nasa Buttonwillow si Bryce. Tinawagan ni Karen yung company na nag-service doon sa Toyota Highlander ni Bryce. And sinabi nitong company na to na naubusan daw ng gas si Bryce and finilled up nila ng gasolina yung sasakyan ni Bryce just for him to get to the nearest petrol station para makapagpagasolina si Bryce. Kasi nga yung Buttonwillow kung nasaan si Bryce was a truck stop. Walang gasolina doon, kumbaga. Truck stop lang siya. And itong service company, pinilled up lang nila ng gasoline yung sasakyan ni Bryce para lang makarating siya doon sa susunod na gasolinahan para makapag-fuel up siya. Tinanong ni Karen, yung nanay ni Bryce, yung nag-service doon sa sasakyan ng anak niya kung ano yung estado ni Bryce. And ang sabi nung lalaki na nag-service nga doon sa sasakyan ng kanyang anak na si Bryce, mukhang coherent naman daw at okay si Bryce. Nag-volunteer pa nga itong lalaking ito na nag-filled up ng gasolina doon sa sasakyan ni Bryce para tingnan kung nandoon pa si Bryce sa Buttonwillow truck stop. So sabi ni Karen, sige please, baka pwede mong i-check yung anak ko kung ano nangyayari sa kanya, kung okay ba siya. So yung pangalan ng guy, nung serviceman, ay Carlos. And nung pagdating ni Carlos doon sa truck stop sa Buttonwillow, sinabi niya na yes, nandito pa rin si Bryce, nandito pa rin yung sasakyan niya, and he's okay, he seems fine. So, tinatawagan kasi ni Karen si Bryce pero hindi sinasagot ni Bryce yung cellphone niya. So, ang sabi ni Karen, pwede mo bang ibigay kay Bryce yung phone para makausap ko siya? So, binigay ni Carlos yung phone kay Bryce and sinabi niya na, Bryce, nasa kabilang linya yung mother mo at gusto kanyang makausap. Kinuha ni Bryce yung phone, kinausap niya yung mother niya, and sinabi niya na he just ran out of gas. Pero since nabigyan na siya ng gasolina para makarating sa susunod na fuel station, sinabi niya na okay na siya and he will go home. So, ang sabi ni Karen, okay, 3 hours na lang naman, nandito ka na sa bahay. So, Karen was expecting Bryce to be home at around 3 p.m. However, lumampas na yung 3 p.m., naging 5 p.m., pero hindi pa rin nakakarating si Bryce sa bahay nila. Tinawagan ni Karen si Bryce, pero hindi pa rin sinasagot ni Bryce yung cellphone niya. Dahil doon, tinawagan na ni Karen yung mga pulis para i-check si Bryce doon sa truck stop sa Buttonwillow. So pagdating ng mga pulis sa truck stop sa Buttonwillow, nandoon pa rin si Bryce. 3 p.m. na ito. So, kung 8 hours yung drive and 3 p.m. na, so almost 11 hours na si Bryce doon sa truck stop and hindi siya gumagalaw. So, walang nakakaalam kung bakit hindi umaalis si Bryce doon sa truck stop sa Buttonwillow. E nabigyan na siya ng gasolina para makarating sa susunod na gasoline station to fuel up para makarating siya sa bahay nila sa Laguna Niguel. So, pinuntahan nga ng mga pulis si Bryce doon sa truck stop and sinabi nila na, why don't you call your mom? Kasi kaninang-kanina ka pa niya tinatawagan sa phone mo pero hindi mo sinasagot. So, dahil kausap nga ni Karen yung mga pulis sa kanilang sariling mobile phone, ibinigay ng pulis yung mobile phone kay Bryce and sinabi ng pulis na, here, talk to your mom. Nung una, hesitant si Bryce na kausapin si Karen. And Karen asks him what he was doing. And Bryce didn't have a real answer. And sinabi ni Karen kay Bryce na, Bryce, you need to come home ASAP. As in now na. Umalis ka na dyan. Parang 11 hours na nakakalipas, hindi ka pa rin nakakarating dito. Bakit ayaw mong umalis dyan sa truck stop? Ang sabi ng mga pulis, sinasagot daw ni Bryce lahat ng tanong nila. He's alert and coherent. Nothing out of ordinary. So, umalis na yung mga pulis. So, si Carlos, remember yung serviceman na naglagay ng gasolina doon sa sasakyan ni Bryce. Nakita niya na may missed call si Karen sa kanya. So, nag-return call siya. Sinabi ni Karen kay Carlos na pinuntahan nga ng mga pulis si Bryce. And Bryce was only 8 miles away sa bahay nila sa Laguna Niguel. And Bryce should be heading home at that point or at that time. So, nakiusap si Karen ulit. Ang bait nitong Carlos kasi parang okay lang siya ng okay. Sinabi ni Karen na, pwede mo bang i-check si Bryce kung nandoon pa rin siya sa truck stop? Kasi dapat ngayon, bumabiyahe na siya pauwi dito sa bahay namin. So, dahil may mabuting loob si Carlos, bumalik ulit siya doon sa truck stop sa Buttonwillow. And pagdating niya doon, nandun pa rin si Bryce. Hindi pa rin siya umaalis. Hindi pa rin siya nagda-drive pauwi sa kanilang bahay. So, sabi ni Carlos kay Karen, hey, your son is still here. Nandito pa rin siya. Hindi pa rin siya umaalis. So, si Karen, nagtataka na siya. I mean, kahit naman siguro sinong magulang magtataka. Pero, ang daming curious. Ang daming nagtatanong kung bakit. Since 3 hours away na lang naman si Bryce doon sa bahay nila. And nag-aalala si Karen and yung kanyang husband, bakit hindi na lang nila pinuntahan si Bryce? Bakit hindi na lang nila sinundo doon? Since, of course, alam naman natin na yung sasakyan ay necessity yan sa ibang bansa kasi wala namang tricycle, walang jeep doon. Although may bus, may train, pero much better kung may sariling sasakyan ang mga tao. So, nagtataka ang mga netizens kung nag-aalala yung mga magulang ni Bryce sa kanya, bakit hindi na lang siya sinundo sa Buttonwillow. We don't know. Tingnan nga ulit ni Carlos kung nandun pa rin si Bryce. Nandun pa rin siya. So, sinabi ni Carlos na, yep, nandito pa rin si Bryce, and Bryce has now been sitting in that car stop in Buttonwillow for 13 hours. Nakaupo lang siya doon. Nasa loob siya ng sasakyan niya, nakapark siya doon sa truck stop, and nandun lang siya for 13 hours. Weird. So eventually, na-convince ni Carlos si Bryce na mag-drive na pauwi sa bahay nila sa Laguna ni Gulf. Nag-thank you si Karen kay Carlos, and sinabi ni Karen kay Carlos na baka pwede mong sundan si Bryce habang nagda-drive siya, just to make sure na magda-drive nga siya pauwi, and magda-drive siya papunta doon sa highway pauwi ng bahay nila. So ayun yung ginawa ni Carlos. Si Carlos na may mabuting puso, so sinabi niya kay Bryce na okay, mag-drive ka na and susundan kita just to make sure na talagang pauwi ka na, and you will drive to the freeway heading home. Kasi yun din yung pakiusap ni Karen sa kanya. So nag-drive sila, nauuna si Bryce, at nakasunod si Carlos sa kanya. So nung papaliko na si Bryce doon sa freeway heading home, sinabi ni Carlos kay Karen sa phone na naihatid ko na si Bryce doon sa freeway, pauwi na siya dyan, he's driving. So nag-thank you si Karen, thank you so much Carlos for your help, blah blah blah. So habang nagda-drive si Bryce sa freeway, he is in contact with his parents. Kasi yun yung sabi ni Karen sa kanya na while you are driving, no, not really while you are driving, but sinabi ni Karen kay Bryce na be in contact with us. Update us kung nasaan ka na, kung malapit ka na, kung ilang hours away ka pa. And at one point, sinabi ni Bryce sa nanay niya na si Karen na he needs to pull over and sleep because inaantok siya. Remember, 13 hours na nakatenga si Bryce doon sa truck stop sa Buttonwillow, pero hindi man lang siya umidlip. Hindi siya inantok, hindi siya natulog. Pero nung pauwi na siya sa bahay nila, bigla siya nakaramdam ng antok. Nag-ask ng permission si Bryce sa kanyang mother kung pwede siyang mag-pull over para matulog because it's already 2:30 a.m. So inaantok siya. So sinabi ni Karen na okay, pwede ka mag-pull over sa gilid dyan and matulog ka. And we'll see you tomorrow in the morning. So nag-pull over si Bryce malapit sa isang cell tower and malapit sa isang pond or body of water or parang creek ganyan sa gilid ng kalsada. And itong body of water na to, hindi lang siya yung pag pumunta ka, tubig na, hindi siya ganun. May mga bush and it was a 25 feet drop below bago ka makarating doon sa tubig and drive off a cliff. Bryce drives forward papunta doon sa tubig and eventually he drove off the cliff. Kung titingnan yung car tracks ni Bryce, it seemed like he accelerated his car. And there was no sign na nagpreno siya. So, it was believed, allegedly, that he intentionally was driving fast towards this creek or this body of water. And eventually, nag-crash yung sasakyan ni Bryce pababa doon sa creek. And yung unang naglanding ay yung kanyang front bumper falling on its side. Tumagilid yung sasakyan ni Bryce. So ang sabi ng mga pulis, yung passenger window daw na sasakyan ni Bryce was broken from the inside. So ang theory nila was si Bryce yung sumira ng passenger window para makalabas siya ng sasakyan. However, lahat ng personal belongings ni Bryce ay nandoon pa rin sa loob ng sasakyan. His laptop, his wallet, his phone, and his clothes. Everything. Nakakita ng 2 spots of blood doon sa loob ng sasakyan. The 2 spots of blood was tested and nalaman ng mga police na it was Bryce's blood. But there was no sign of Bryce. Wala si Bryce sa loob ng sasakyan, wala siya sa labas, wala siya sa kahit na saan. So yung mga police, nagdala sila ng 2 bloodhounds or yung mga sniffer dog para matrack si Bryce. So na-track ng 2 dogs yung scent ni Bryce on a route na away doon sa street view papunta sa isang truck stop again. And that is where Bryce's scent ends. And that's it. Bryce vanished without a trace. Para siyang bula na pumutok sa air. Parang wala na. Walang trace, walang kahit na anong bakas kung nasaan si Bryce. As I've said earlier, nakipag-break nga si Bryce sa kanyang girlfriend without any reason. Walang maisip na rason si Kim kung bakit makikipag-break si Bryce sa kanya. And for her, at least, kasi siya yung in-interview ng mga police, no, na they were in a serious relationship. Wala silang problema, wala silang kahit na anong pagtatalo. So, nung kinuha nga ni Kim yung susi ng sasakyan ni Bryce, allegedly, sinabi ni Kim kay Karen na wala siyang tiwala kay Bryce na mag-drive that night because she knew na Bryce allegedly had drugs and alcohol in him. And alam naman natin na yung 2 yan ay hindi magandang combination. As in, nakakabuang talaga siya, kumbaga. This was just allegedly, okay? Kasi mahirap nang sabihin concrete ito, no? Basta ayun lang. According dun sa article, allegedly, Bryce was under the influence of alcohol and illegal substance. And nung nag-usap daw si Karen at si Bryce, nag-offer si Karen na bilhan ng ticket si Bryce. Parang, oh son, why don't you just fly in? Medyo mas mahirap kung magda-drive ka pa. Ibibili na lang kita ng ticket para makauwi ka ng safe and hindi ka na mapagod. Pero, tumanggi si Bryce. So, the question is, what happened to Bryce? Anong nangyari sa kanya? Kababalik lang niya sa school after 2 weeks ng bakasyon. What could have happened in those 2 weeks? Actually, Bryce was already in class for 4 days. 4 na araw na siyang pumapasok. Bakit siya nag-drive pauwi ng Laguna Niguel nung gabing yun? Supposedly, dapat uuwi siya sa kanyang apartment because may pasok na sila. Bakit siya babalik sa kanilang bahay sa Laguna Niguel? May nakalimutan ba siya? May kailangan ba siyang sabihin in person sa mga pangulang niya? Or something important came up and he needs to go home? Pero sabi naman ni Karen, hindi din niya alam kung bakit uuwi si Bryce or magdadrive siya ng 8 hours. Sobrang dami ba nang nainom ni Bryce na may kasamang illegal substance para magkaroon siya ng psychotic episode? Yun kasi yung isa sa mga theory na nagkaroon ng psychotic episode allegedly si Bryce nung gabing yun, na nakipag-break siya sa kanyang girlfriend at nag-drive siya pauwi sa Laguna Niguel. Did he intentionally drove off that cliff to, take his own life? Allegedly, yun bang car accident ay nagbigay kay Bryce ng concussion to the point na he doesn't remember who he is? What happened to him? Ang sabi ng mga loved ones ni Bryce, hindi daw siya familiar doon sa truck stop sa Buttonwillow. So nagtataka sila kung bakit nandoon si Bryce for 13 hours. Anong ginagawa niya doon? Ang sabi pa ng mga kapamilya niya, Bryce didn't hitchhike and he didn't enjoy outdoor things. Unfortunately, Bryce is still missing and his case remains unsolved to this day. It's been 7 years. If you have any information, call 949-292-4400. Bryce was only 19 years old when he disappeared. He was last seen wearing a blue and white checkered shirt, a white cargo shorts, and size 12 na red and white Nike shoes. He was described as a Caucasian male with red hair and green eyes. Bryce has a tattoo of a Taurus bullhead and his birthday in Roman numerals on his upper left arm. I will also insert a photo of his tattoo, and his ears are pierced. He is about 5'11" and around 170 pounds. Bryce would have been 26 years old. You can also call the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office at 323-890-5500 if you have any information about Bryce. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe